What's happening, people? Population Nation here, and here to report on Star Trek Picard Season 3, Episode 6. And I sort of have mixed feelings. Same as Season 5, I had sort of mixed feelings. I will say, though, it was had quite a Star Trek feel to it. Lieutenant LaForge, or did they call him Commodore? I can't remember. Anyway, Geordie, he's back on the team. Yeah, always liked Geordie. Worf and Raffi have now joined up with the main crew. Yeah, the you know, basically what they're gonna do, get into Daystrom Station, which apparently is guarded by a highly efficient, deadly AI. Well, this is one of the issues I'm having with. I'm really trying hard to like this season of Picard, because after the shite of Star Trek Diversity, I haven't watched Strange New Worlds. I won't lower myself to lower decks. And Picard season 1 and season 2 was just Star Trek in name only. But I'd heard things about season 3 and they're bringing the old crew back together as best they can and stuff, and the guy who's doing most of the writing and producing has a love for Star Trek, which really does show through. But one of the things that is starting to put me off now, one of the very first videos I ever uploaded to YouTube, I cannot remember the title of it, but it was something along the lines of I hate fan service, or what the hell is fan service, or something. I don't understand. Something to do with fan service and Easter eggs and member berries. And I was saying during that video that I made, basically I didn't understand. I started off by saying, I hate it. But then I said, well, not really hate it. I just don't really understand it. To me, fan service is giving fans what they want. If you like fantasy, high fantasy, magic, and all the rest of it, there has to be a story, and there has to be usually with fantasy, it's good and evil, and you'll get some sort of clash between the two, and it's set in a different world. It's not as like the abomination that was the Rings of Power reflect the world we live in today. Why the hell would you want to watch or read a fantasy based on the world we live in today? You know, where people are worried about house prices, the price of electricity, the price of, prices going up at the supermarkets of food, ridiculous, Um, the war in Ukraine and the suffering that's going on, and pandemics and stuff. We don't want that in a fantasy series, do we? Right? Uh, Nostalgia baiting, um, the rebooted, or made a remake of RoboCop, and it just, I watched it because I actually, RoboCop 3 was a bit of a letdown, but 1 and 2, I loved them. That model they used for Kane, that's I've never seen nothing like it. In fact, I haven't seen anything as good as that since. Brilliant, but the remake, it was just RoboCop in name only. It's not the same film. They did the same Total Recall. Just a cash grab, total crap. Like, and then Game of Thrones come along, and I already said I knew somebody who had done some work on it. I mentioned him a few times, a friend of mine, camera guy, and he works with a group of people. He does some contract work, whatever, like, and does some consultation. So it's not just standing there with a camera filming. He also go out and to the location, scope it out, and where to get the shots from and stuff. And sometimes he'll even go out to places and not even be behind the camera, just say consulting and that. And he got to do a bit of work on Game of Thrones. And he's also done a bit on the House of Dragon. But yeah, he mentioned to me one day, he said, "Hey, Howard, I've worked on the show, and he knows I'm into my fantasy and stuff like that. I used to collect comics and whatnot," and mentioned the show to me. And then, what do you know? A few weeks later, a friend of mine asked me if I'd watched it, and I said no, and he says, "Oh, give it a go, it's really good, man." And then first few seasons, I absolutely loved. Talk about fantasy and based on that medieval period, and one of my favourite games that I played on the computer was Elder Scrolls Oblivion. I played Skyrim. In fact, I've just restarted playing Skyrim, but Oblivion I liked more. Can't wait for the new Elder Scrolls game to come out. But yeah, towards the end of Game of Thrones, they started, sticking in member berries and Easter eggs, and you see whole YouTube videos that will go like Charlie does 10 WTF moments and Easter eggs and 20 Easter eggs for that, and it's like I'm not really interested in Easter eggs. I'm not even a fan of chocolate in the first place, really. You know, but yeah, and member berries. Do you remember this? Do you remember that? You know, I just want to watch something good. And I'm going a bit on a tangent here, but yeah, I thought I'd give Picard season 3 a chance. And like I've said on my other reviews of it, the theme tune at the beginning, you know, loved it. I actually wish that they'd done a bit more of an intro to it, really, to be honest. Like, you know, you got, when you had Voyager going through the solar corona, whatever you call it, and it's the cells. I never knew why the cells moved. We went and that. Yeah, and TNG's brilliant. Hated Enterprise's theme tune has got to go down as one of the worst ever. But anyway, yeah. So we start this episode, and they're getting back together. They got a plan. They know that the changelings are involved, or a certain group of changelings. They've got some technology that's been stolen. They've worked out where it's come from. Do you know that the Federation's been infiltrated. Picard's involved because he has to be, and that's the name of the series. You know, I do quite like the fact of his son, and I knew there was something going on. I actually think there might be something a bit more to it. Like, but like I say, a lot of people really like episode 5. To me, was okay. Like, but this episode, felt very sort of Star Trekky, like it could be a 2-episode affair, like, and basically, I haven't really made any notes, but Riker, Worf, and Raffi did manage to get on board the Station Station to find out what was stolen, and they managed to get some sort of key or electric device thing, MacGuffin, that allows them to disable, or they think disable, the security system. Anyway, unbeknownst to them, it sort of goes off, and when Riker says that Professor Moriarty, which is a callback to a TNG episode where basically a program that was developed inside the holodeck. And before getting further, I always found episodes that centered around the holodeck some of my least favourite. some people say it was their most favourites, but to be honest, I had a peculiar, would you say, or a strong dislike for some of them holodeck based episodes where it take over the ship. I just found it silly, it's a contained room. It shouldn't be able to, take over the galaxy through whatever means like that. But yeah, Professor Moriarty, he somehow gets outside the holodeck. And it always goes back to the Doctor, the EMH from Voyager, how he was confined to certain areas until he got that thing on his arm from the future that allowed him to go other places. But somehow some made up program inside a holodeck. Managed to get outside the holodeck with no external help or technology, and I just thought it was a bit of just one episode I didn't like. Thought it was a bit daft, and they stuck it into this episode, which put a bit of a downer on me. Member berries. I do not like member berries, really. No. They say fan service. For the time wasted on them member berries, they could have perhaps, I don't know, had some other crazy or mad security thingy-majig go on, or puzzle that they had to solve and get around, and this lot and the other. But instead, fan service. And I said in one of my earlier videos about this, like I say, desperation, they seem to be chucking everything at it. I wasn't expecting them to find data. We know what the trailers, they say law. It was interesting that they found out what they've stolen is some sort of blueprints to the Picard, his body. So these changelings, don't know if it's got something to do with Borg technology, or is disease they're supposed to carry might be the key to something. Don't know. That was I wasn't expecting that. No, that's what they've stolen. But they left data there. Or is that more part of a wider plan? But there you go. It was an alright episode. Yeah, still, like I say, looking forward to the next one, so that's always a good sign. I just, like I say, wish they toned the fan service down, the member berries, the Easter eggs. We don't need it. Just give us a good story, man. Throw a bit more originality in there. And let's see where things goes. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe. It would really make my day. And thumbs up. Drop us a comment. Didn't get many, but always like it when I do. Read everyone. Always trying to improve and make fun listening to my my thoughts on things. You know, I try and see it for what it is. I don't try and sugarcoat it, or like I say, I don't really like to hate watch. Sometimes some things have to be pointed out. But anyway, there we go. Thanks for listening. Live long and prosper. Have a good day.